Well, we're going to continue on in Tinkercad this evening, so hopefully you guys got a chance to make your account. If not, definitely jump on and go ahead and do that right now. And we're going to be continuing with the lessons. Before we get started on the lessons, did anyone finish a snowman that they want to show off? No? No takers on that? Oh, great. Brianna. Brianna, I'm going to put your hand down. As soon as you are in Tinkercad and you have the snowman up, let me know. Okay? Raise your hand as soon as you are in Tinkercad, logged in, and have the snowman up. Great, Rachel, thought it worked. So, because we kind of did the snowman in a weird spot, if you're trying to find where it was, you click on the Learn tab, and yours should be here in the Scale, Copy, and Paste. Oh. Oh, okay, Hannah. Great. Glad you're here. I'm very excited for Rachel that she went on a robotics competition. I hope she does well. Hey, Amelia. What's going on? Oh. Hello? Hey, Amelia. So why is your hand raised?
Oh, I just had my hand raised just to show that I was on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, wonderful. Do you want to show off your snowman? No? Okay. Well, Brianna, just let me know. And the way to get to it, you'll hit the Tinkercad in the upper left-hand corner. And you look at, this part should be empty, but under Collections, you'll see Lessons. And you should see the one where you worked on the snowman. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead, Brianna, and at the end of class, you're actually going to get time to make another design. Oh, okay, you're ready. Okay. I wasn't trying to rush you. I just wanted to make sure we could get done what we could get done. So now you are a presenter. And just allow us to see your screen. Oh! Oh, I love him. He's kind of, his head's almost tilted a little bit, like a puppy who's confused. It's very sweet. That's great.
Yep.
Thanks for showing it up.
You're welcome.
And I really mean that. I really enjoy getting to see what you guys do. I know we spend most of the class just looking at my screen, so I really enjoy it when you guys take me up on it and show off what you're working on. And we'll get a chance to do that later today. All right, let's get our hands dirty here. Go on up to the Learn tab. And you're going to scroll down, and you guys are going to start the lesson Die on the Work Plane. And we're going to learn a little bit about how work planes work. All right, so just click to begin that lesson. As a quick review, I am orienting around my screen by right-clicking and moving my mouse, and that's allowing me to tilt. I could zoom in by using my scroll wheel. My computer's being a little slow right now. Maybe let me exit out of everything I possibly can. There we go. I can use my scroll wheel to zoom. And if I right click while holding down Shift, it allows me to pan. Okay, so right click, move your mouse to tilt. Right click while holding down Shift to pan. And you can zoom by the scroll wheel. Okay, so what we're going to do, or what the goal of this lesson is to put a 6, or to put a 5 and a 6 on this die. Now, it's not challenging. It's not super challenging, I should say. If everyone could have their eyes on my screen right now, because I'm going to do a quick explanation here. To pull, so I click the little number, and you'll see all the numbers that are available. So I can pull, let's say, the number 5 onto my work plane. That's the number 6. The number 5 onto my work plane. But it's going to take a fair amount of maneuvering to get it to stand vertically. I'm going to have to rotate it and try to get it just right so that it is standing upright just how I want it to be. That's not even the right axis. And then I've got to move it back across here. It's a fair amount of work. So what this lesson teaches us is how we can get around that by adding work planes or changing the work plane. So when I pull the 5 onto here, it's resting on the original work plane. So go ahead and hit Next on your tutorial. And then you're going to click the grid at the top right of your screen that says Show Helper Shapes. And you're going to click and drag the work plane onto that blue cross. And you'll notice that the work plane goes vertical. And your screen kind of changes what it looks like drastically. What you just did is instead of your work plane being flat, now your work plane is directly against the side of the dice. So if you hit Next again, and you click and drag the 5 out, it's going to orient itself to the work plane. Just like before it was sitting flat, now it sits flat against this vertical work plane. and you can add the 5 to the orange marker. So go ahead and try that out. All right, raise your hand if you need another minute. Message me if you are just so confused or you need me to show it to you again. No one? We're all good? No one needs another minute? All right, that's fine. Great. So now we're going to resize it by using the white cube. We're going to resize it down to 1 millimeter so it sits more flat like the rest of the numbers on the die. And we're going to do the same thing again with the 6. We're going to click the helpers and find the work plane. We're going to click and drag the work plane on top of the die. And then we're going to click and drag the 6. On top of the die. Except I need to hit next so I know where to put it. Oh, that was actually pretty good. Then resize the 6 so it's 1 millimeter flat. Using that white square. That's so that it's going to sit flat like the rest of the numbers. The last step is to click and drag to select the entire dice, which will select the 2 numbers you just added, and hit group. That looks like the little pyramid up top. And now it's all one dice. All right, I am going to give you guys a moment to work on that, and I'm actually going to start a poll just to see how you think the pacing is going for this unit. Too fast, too slow, or is this about the right pace for you? And I should say some people, you know, are really great with programming and they thought that the programming unit was too slow. Some people are really great with this and think that we're going too slow here. So if I'm probably going to heed people's opinions more if someone says too fast than too slow. Too slow, there's always ways to challenge yourself, and I'll try to do a better job of giving you extra challenges with the steps. But great, we got the majority saying good and some saying it could be a little faster. I'm happy with that. And again, always please be honest with the polls. You're never going to hurt my feelings. I give the polls so I can make the webinars, you know, kind of the best that they can be. Sure. All right, so we're going to move forward. And we're going to do our first design completely on our own without a tutorial. Oh, that's fine, Rachel. To delete, you just select, I'm sorry, not Rachel, Hannah. It might take me a little bit of time to remember. So you click in, let's say I had the 0 and I didn't want it. To delete it, I would just hit delete on my keyboard. No worries. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to hit the Tinkercad in the upper left corner of your screen. And you want to hit Create New Design. All right, there's going to be a couple things that we're going to work on for the rest of class. Kate, I'm sorry that you were late. So happy that you could join us, but we're doing Tinkercad. I can't start over the lesson, but we're working on Tinkercad. So, you know, Tinkercad.com. You got to create an account, and we went through the first few tutorials, and now we're working on building our own shape. Okay, this is 3D modeling for the 3D printer unit. This recording will be posted. The recording from Monday will be posted as well. Gotcha? All right, that's okay, Hannah. Okay, what you're learning. Oh, Hannah, I think I got a little confused when I read your message before. But hopefully you should be able to catch up with us. For right now, I want everybody to look at my screen. We're going to learn something called adjust, which could be very, very helpful. So let's say that you're writing your name. You have your letters here. And for the sake, I have D, U, E, and for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to have DUB there for right now. They look pretty good, but they're not perfectly aligned. They could be way more aligned. You know, they don't look like a straight line. There is a really wonderful tool called the Adjust tool. And you'll see it here. And it allows you to align your objects. So you can align them so that the center of each, height-wise, is along the same center line there. So to do that, I clicked that line. Now, oops. Let me click and select all of them again, adjust, align. I want them all centered so that they're the same, you know, the D, the U, and the B are all lined up. If I had clicked this one, that would mean the center of each one lengthwise would be at the same point, right? So they're all kind of right on top of each other. That's not what you want to do, but if you end up choosing the wrong one, you can just hit undo. But that also can be really useful, and I'll show you why. Let's say that you're working on the snowman. And I do want you guys right now just to be looking at my screen, and in just a moment you're going to get a chance to play around with this. I have my sphere here. I'm going to add a work plane on top. Why? Because it's going to make it much easier to add the sphere on top of this. And now I'm going to click and drag the work plane flat so that it returns to the regular work plane. So this is on top of this one, but they're not directly on top of each other. How do I fix that? I can select both, adjust, align, and this time I want them aligned both that way and that way. So their centers are directly on top of each other, both ways. Alright, so you can mess around with it. You don't have to memorize how it works. I would really recommend trying this with a few letters. I want you guys in your new designs, so again, how you did that, you clicked on the Tinkercad in the upper left-hand corner, and you hit Create New Design. I want you guys to use the letters and spell out your name and then align it so that they are all in a straight line. The work plane tool, Hannah, is up here. It's under Helper Shapes. It's this one, the work plane. No worries. So please do that. Right now you should be spelling out your name in a straight line. So I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to change my view so it's a little bit easier for me to see. And just take my time. Oops, I don't need a G. I can just hit delete on my keyboard. Alright, I'm going to put them each about the same distance from each other. But it's okay that they're not perfectly aligned because we're going to use the Align tool. My computer is crawling at the moment, so this is actually taking me a little bit longer than I would normally expect it to, but no worries. Everybody's getting caught up. Okay. Once you have your name all in a row, click and drag to select your whole name and use the adjust tool align. And you want to change it so that the middle of the letters lengthwise are at the same spot. So that they're aligned so it's straight, so that they would sit flat on a shelf. You can think about it that way. And once you have them aligned, I want you to group the letters together. If you could, please raise your hand once you have reached this point, once you have your letters grouped together. And take your time. For those of you who already have that done, if you would like, you can work on a little design in the corner. The next step, we're doing a kind of like a name plaque that would go on your door. So you can make like a flower or something like that as an extra challenge if you are finished. All right? But raise your hand and keep it raised when you're finished and your name is grouped and aligned. And we're just going to wait. All right, as a reminder, please raise your hand as soon as you have your letters grouped together. If you are, oh great, so we got quite a few. If you are finished and you're kind of waiting, what I want you to do is you can create a little shape that would, like a flower, for example, or you could try to do like a face. Just keep it simple though and flat. That would go at the edge of like a nameplate. So I'll do an example here. This could be the center of a flower. I'm going to make it much smaller though. And I'm going to hold down Shift while I'm making this smaller so that it constrains the sides so that it makes a circle and it doesn't become an oval. You hold down Shift while you're reducing the size to do that. Alright, so there's my little flower center. And you can use whatever shape you think looks best for your petals. Shape 2 I think looks good for petals. These are funny. A bunny ear. Bunny ear would make a perfect petal. So I'm going to rotate the bunny ear a little bit. And turn it so it's flat. And again, so Hannah, I know you were working on something else, but if you could raise your hand as soon as you have your name. If you have a question, let me know. That's okay, Kate. Kate, as a heads up, make sure you give it your birthday before 2000, so that it allows you to have an account. That your parent doesn't have to have an account as well. Little did I know how ambitious a flower was going to be. Oh no. But here at Young Engineers of Today, we like ambitious. All right, at 7:40, I'm going to move forward with this one. So just as a heads up, if you don't have your name done at that point, no worries. But you're just gonna have to watch the recording to see the rest of it. You're not in any sort of trouble, but we just got to move on a little. One petal down. Ooh. And remember our skills, we can copy paste. We can actually use the adjust mirror to flip this petal, which is nice. Let me show that to you, to those of you trying to make a flower. Adjust mirror. Let me do that. And I got my, oops, none of that. Got my little petal there. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. I'm going to give up on my flower for right now. But you would just keep copying and pasting petals around the outside. Maybe it'd be best if that was actually a bunny. Just 2 ears. All right, guys. We're going to move forward. It is 7:40. Oops. Okay. You didn't hear what you just said? No worries. If you're caught up by, sorry, Hannah. If you're caught up by Monday, you should be fine. So yeah, what I was just going to say is I was going to move forward and you can watch the recording for the next part of what we're doing. But no stress. We just got to get to the next challenge. Okay. So for the align, let's say that you are making, I said almost like a nameplate. So try to find an oval, and what you're actually going to find is a cylinder, and click and drag it onto your work plane. If you were making a flower or something like that, don't worry about it right now. I want you to focus on this because we're going to build some skills here. So I'm going to actually delete my flower. And I want you to stretch that cylinder out. And then scale it so that it is shorter. Just like you're seeing here. So I want it scaled so that it is, let's say, 8 millimeters high. It's going to take me a moment. Mine's going to be 8.25 because that's what it wants to do. All right. Good, Kate. Glad you got that trick. And what you do once you do this, I want it to look like there's almost a little frame around our oval. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy it by either doing Command C or Control C. Command C if you have a Mac or Control C if you have a PC, and then pasting the name. And you know what? I'm actually going to delete that. What I want to do first, so listen to what I'm saying, because I'm going to give you slightly different instructions. You can undo if you already hit paste. Command C or Control C to copy the shape, then drag a work plane on top of your oval. That way it's going to be easy for us to paste the copy on top. Okay? And then paste the copy on top. And I'll give everyone a moment to get caught up on that, okay? So you should have something like this nameplate where your name's going to fit on it. You're going to make a copy of it by either selecting it and hitting Command C or Control C. You're going to click and drag the work plane on top of the original, and then you're going to paste the copy so that it's on top of the work plane. It just helps you stack. It just makes it easier to stack shapes. The next step is to take the work plane tool, and click and drag it. And notice how you have that blue outline of the original work plane when I just drag it into the blank area. That's what you want. It returns you to your original work plane. I'm going to take my copied and my original oval shapes, and I'm going to align them so that they are centered together. So the copy is right on top of the original. Both ways, so lengthwise and widthwise. Like, it almost looks like two pieces of bread now. The next step is to make the top shape a little bit smaller. To do that, I'm going to hover over this corner here, and while holding Shift down on the keyboard, I'm going to bring this corner, this white square, in. Just a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to once again adjust so that it's in the center again. Oh, my sound just cut out. Oh, okay, good. It's good now. Woo! That's scary to hear. Alright, the next step, we're going to make this shape only about one, let's say 3 millimeters high. About 3 millimeters high. It's okay if you're not spot on. And you're going to make it a hole. And you're going to drop this hole, oops, undo, into your shape. So that it's sitting directly on your shape there. And kind of visualize what this is going to do when you group them together. You have that beautiful kind of inset rim. Really nice. How did you adjust where to put the hole? Do you mean in the center, Grace? Like how far down to put it? Okay, the way I did that, let me ungroup it, is with this cone. I just pulled my hole, which was originally on top, and I set it, and I'm just visualizing it here. Here it's orange, so now it's like the shape is hollow. The hole is beneath the surface. I lifted until the hole was right at the surface, and then I released. And then I grouped them together. And there you go. Okay, great. God, that makes sense. Once you've finished that, try kind of on your own, see if you can figure this out, but I'm going to be here for the rest of the class, so no stress on this, to place your name in the center of your little plaque. sure to change your view to make sure it's what you expect and that your name isn't floating over your plaque, like mine is here. As soon as I see those dotted lines in my letter, I know that it's beneath the surface, so I just want it right before those dotted lines. And then I adjust it so that it's again centered. I don't want to center it height-wise though, because then it'll be in the middle of our shape. Undo. Alright, this is what the final product should look like. Hey Grace, I'm going to put your hand down because I think I answered your question, but if you have another question, raise your hand. Anyone has another question, please raise their hand. I'm going to go ahead and group all of mine together. And there's one more thing we're going to do with this shape. So as soon as you're finished, and please no rush here, but as soon as you're finished, raise your hand. I know I didn't really give you step by step how to pull the name up, but just be patient. Move it up along that axis and then move it over and move it down until you see it kind of dip into the shape. Just be patient and then align it so that it's in the center of your shape, okay? Wonderful. That's awesome. Seeing some people that are done. But again, no rush, no rush. I'm going to add a little heart to mine, perhaps a diamond. Feel free to decorate it however you would like when you're done. Ooh. By the way, if your hand is raised right now, I assume that you're done with your shape, not that you have a question. So if you have a question, either blink your hand so that I know, hey, I have a question, or send me a message. Okay, Hannah, I'm glad that you're going to keep working on it. I hope you can watch the recording and see this. Okay, great. So we're ready to move forward. So this is all one shape. I grouped it together. Note that it's all one color. Now, I don't know about you all, but I've always been a fan of books like Harry Potter, books with like knights and castles, where people had seals, right? And you had some wax, and you would take that big seal and you'd press the seal into the wax, and you'd be left with a name. Well, when you do that, you actually need the name to be backwards, inversed, mirrored. So when you press in, it's the right way. Let me make sure that's right. Yes, that's right. Okay, so if you could actually make this a seal, and this is just going to be a simple thing I just wanted to show you. It's just really one of the tools. It's just a cool way to show it. If you use the mirror under adjust, you can mirror it, and now you just made a seal. Now you could put that on the end of a poker and have your own little name sealed into your own wax. Which I just think is a neat thing. Very easy. I love Harry Potter. Me too. Me too. All right, any questions on this stuff, on the name, on aligning, anything like that? Okay, from here, this is your shape. This is called Super Lilo. First of all, does anyone want to show off their shape? Anything? Think that they did a cool job or added something neat, different? No? Okay, I want to introduce a challenge for over the weekend, a completely optional challenge. So this is your shape. You're going to find this if you hit Tinkercad in the upper left corner. It automatically saves. You'll see your design there, all of your designs. I'm going to give them these weird names. I want you to create a new design. And the next thing I want you guys to work on, if you have some time, is to create a sea creature of some kind. And I know that sounds a little strange, but I think sea creature is a great place to start, because you could just use a sphere and a pyramid and make a fish pretty fast. Or you could choose to go more complicated and try to make an octopus. No pressure on what you guys want to do, but use whatever time you want to put into this. I would love to see what you all kind of come up with. And if you want to work on this over the weekend, what I want to do on Monday, I'll show off anyone's work that is done. But also, you can take a screenshot of it and post it to Edmodo if you're doing work and you want to show it off to the group. So that's what we're going to do for the rest of class, unless you guys have questions. I am going to get started on my crab. Just be creative. Try to think about the shapes that you're given and use them to create your own shapes. So pretty quickly from that sphere, I've got a crab body. Some people may see a torus. I see a crab leg. I'm gonna use this rectangular prism as a whole so that I only have half of this shape, since I only need half of it. Oh goodness. Crab legs getting all distorted. Just trying to move it. Alright, you guys get the picture. The computer is moving very slowly. Does anyone have any ideas or thoughts or questions? The goal of this, the Sea Creature Challenge, is really to get you guys to be thinking about these shapes in creative and different ways, and I'm excited to see what you all do. A little bit more ambitious than the snowman. Use what you've learned, and I would say if you're not sure where to get started, start with something like a pufferfish, or just something a little bit on the easier. Don't start with seahorse, for example. That's going to be a challenging one. Have a wonderful weekend if no one has any questions, and I will see you guys Monday. Oh wait, one more thing, unless you gotta go, which is fine. I just want to know what you guys think about one poll, what you guys think about Tinkercad. And as soon as you've voted, you can head out. Great. Great. And Kate, let me know if you need any help, okay? I know. Oh, Kate's gone. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend.